Well, all right, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA, Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangster Chronicles. Ew.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Ew.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the G's.
Man, so we got to talk about some stuff that's going on now in the streets, man. What do you feel about the political climate now, man? What's going on with Black America, man, just in general?
All right, well,
I mean, not to interrupt, but he kind of spoke on it a little bit earlier when he said shit, the police was always pulling the nigga over and all that. So, you know, just trying to kind of elaborate on that shit of how really ain't nothing changed.
well, you know, the thing that we dealing with now is you got to realize right now that from the intro of crack, when you found out how Freeway Rick was all in that circle of the shit with the war they was funding, and the CIA was letting the dope land in L.A. You think about that shit, and you think about the day Ronald Reagan said, "I declare a war on drugs," and they came with the "Just Say No," and it was like this whole scare tactic campaign about the scary criminals in the inner cities and shit. So then we got the crack. Now I know in 80 whatever, when they start freebasing cocaine, wasn't no motherfucking nigga went and spent $100 on some powder and said, "I'm gonna pour this shit into a bottle of water and let's set it on fire and make it turn into a rock." That shit is some chemistry shit. Right. That shit is some science shit. And when the crack was economically broken down to be affordable in the ghetto, and the shit was given to people like Freeway Rick, just here, you free to select. Man, all that shit was one big setup, bro. The shit was a setup to where, the gangs. I don't even know what route the gangs would have went in if it wasn't for crack. They wouldn't have turned into crack gangs. Gangs would have been. They probably would have. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been what it is.
You
and then
still had breaking in houses.
So then all of a sudden, we like 84, 85, this crack thing is jumping off. And a couple of years into that shit now, if you got a rock and a gun, they finna put you away for hella long. You know what I'm saying? And then they, the whole shit with the powder and shit. And the white boys is just on all the powder and shit, and they like ain't really stressing them out at all. But you can get caught with a gun and some powder, and you don't get fucking 80,000 years in jail. But if you got a rock and a gun, your ass is out. And
it was crazy like that.
And then not only not only was they setting all these situations up for you to get f***ed off, they was purposely pressing the line in the hood. So mostly like on our side, Mexicans and niggas got it. You know what I'm saying? On the other side, Puerto Ricans and niggas got it. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't pressing the line to bust people in the suburbs. They was only with the hood. But a city like Oakland was signed up for the program on the war on crime. So if you bust so many people and convict so many people, we'll send you more weapons, we'll send you more budget, we'll send you more cars. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they had incentive policing to get the numbers up because they want the good numbers for the war on crime. So now they setting up all these laws. We in a trap fighting over the hood. We ain't buying the hood, but we killing each other over the block. And niggas is just like, we ushered in a whole new era of slavery. Modern day slavery, the mass incarceration. They locked us the up. They locked all our homies up, nigga. If your homie got a cold case, he wasn't too much different than the homie that got murdered. He like, damn, I ain't finna see the homie no more. Gone. And in 1980, the stats are something like, when Ronald Reagan said war on crime, it was probably like 500,000 people in American jails, prisons. Now it's like over 2 million. And all the motherfuckers came from the hood, a whole bunch of blacks and Hispanics, and basically they just out tricked us, bro. We run around here talking thug life and shit, and we could have been like the Italian mafia, trying our damnedest to be drug dealers and pretend not to be, cleaning that shit up and walking around. You know what I'm saying? We wrote it out, and I want the young homies to know right now that if you calling the spot where you sell dope the trap, nigga, just listen to the word. It's a trap. Like, I seen too many motherfuckers die or get all their youth taken away for that trap. And you sitting there going, nigga, I'm in the trap. You bragging about the trap. Like, some of us got out.
Exactly.
We didn't get the 20-year sentence.
If you ask me, it was all just design.
It's a setup. That's all I'm saying right now. It's a setup. And we the mother. If you from the 80s, you the motherfucking generation that got set the fuck up. The guinea pigs, the first one. But how long is you gonna keep falling for the fact that, you know, the shit that's gonna get you all that time in jail? You know?
Right.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because I always talk with the big homie James. Talk about voting. James has a certain feeling about voting. He feel like it's a waste of time.
I feel that shit too, though.
Yeah. Let's
because what does it do? I mean, if you really look at it.
Vote or not, I campaign for the cause, and I support certain shit. When I'm like, if I'm like not feeling a certain thing, a certain candidate, I'll support the other. And by doing benefit performances or PSA or something.
I ain't doing none of that shit.
What do you feel about this presidential election?
I feel like, you know, you can even include Obama's two terms. I'm feeling like, man, my whole life I ain't seen nothing from the presidents except the same exact thing, whether it's Democrat or Republican. It ain't nobody coming through with these campaign promises and making shit happen. So
motherfuckers need to stop tripping off of who the fucking president is and start worrying about who the motherfucker creating the laws that with a lot of us. That's what the problem is.
The Senate is important as a motherfucker. The Senate is really
and local politics, all that shit.
Local politics, exactly. Like the
all
local politics and the Senate, really the shit that impact us. What you think, James? You being quiet, man. I know you got some shit in your mind.
I'm being quiet because I'm listening to y'all, but I mean, like I said, everything was a design. It goes way before the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
With us, we put ourselves in a situation because the police couldn't infiltrate unless they had one of us in there to do it. And we got a lot of brothers that sold brothers out back in those days for the little money that they did give. And then they create a program. They create programs to keep you where you at, stagnate you. Just like with us. Like when you say ain't no father in the house, it shouldn't have really mattered if you had a daddy in the house or whatever. With all the shit that was going on, we sat back and watched half of the shit crack off, go the way it went. You know what I'm saying? And now we fighting and killing each other over the same shit these motherfuckers put here. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, the trap. That's all that shit was. We sitting in there getting drunk, ain't paying attention, and passing shit through the windows, through the doors, the whole nine. We ain't giving a but this is what they showed us where we was at. And we with that. That's what we roll with, and we still doing it right now today. So, I mean...
Yeah, man, you catch a cold case, you in your young 20s, late teens,
and you done.
Catch a cold case, you come home at 38, 40 years old, and basically you spent all them years working in there free.
Yeah, working for free.
Free labor, bro. It's free labor.
How many people you lose to that, James?
35 cents. What?
How many people you lose to them coke cases, man, when they was catching motherfuckers?
Oh, man, there's so many.
With a 50 piece of crack.
There's so many brothers in prison. That's because we don't know the law. And when they get in there and get to spitting the law to you, thinking they finna help you, but then at the end of the day, they stretch your ass.
So what I'm saying is, I don't know how to tell the young homies how to preach and be like, bruh, go straight, whatever. I wasn't listening to nobody when I was young. I'm just like, get your motherfucking money, but it's a lot of shit out here. Like, it's gonna benefit you more without the penitentiary chances. That's all I'm saying. And do what the you gotta do, whatever, but stay the at that prison, bro. And I just in the long, I say this to say, think back to when you was a youngster and the niggas who rode the hardest. The niggas who rode the hardest. And the niggas who, them little nerd niggas that would never join the gang. Them niggas who would never come around the block. Them niggas, you come home at 38 years old and that little nigga got a fine ass wife, beautiful family, nigga got nice ass cars and shit. You like that punk ass nigga? Like, you like, that nigga been balling.
Yeah, he did the right thing.
And we ain't too far from, because niggas got that rich dream right now. They see this rap shit, this hip hop shit, this ball player shit, and they got that millionaire dream. But you ain't gonna achieve that unless you apply yourself to something. You got to put your 10,000 hours in. You got to get some work in. You got to become an expert at something and be good at that shit.
Well, we say you just got to pay your dues and put in your work, and then shit should eventually, if you get the right, the right foundation behind you and the right group of niggas that can steer you on the right path. Like I said, OGs used to be set up to try to steer niggas on the right path or let niggas stay out of trouble.
You know, keep him out the gangs, keep him in sports,
That's what we need, So, but other than that, man, you just nothing else matters, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit been flipping the same way for generations. You know what I'm saying? I can say back to when I started running around, shit ain't changed. Like James say, you can vote for whatever, take your choice, Democrat, Republican, but at the end of the day, start peeping out what's going on in your own section, in your neighborhood, your city. Mm-hmm. Start peeping out the local government. Start peeping out what's happening in the Senate and the people who make the laws, because that's what counts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say though is it's almost gangster. It's almost real gangster not to be gangster in the long run.
From the streets to the yard, to the boulevard, Gangster Chronicles. Well, all right, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA, Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangster Chronicles.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Stairs.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the G's.
We represent the G's, never no wannabes.
Gangsters, hustlers, players on the go. Tune in like every week.
If you wanna hear the real, well, you done come to the right spot. Gangster Chronicles.